Here we go. It's Dralii versus Diaz on the DFH Stadium 10-year anniversary map. We have ourselves a $250 best of 7 prize pool courtesy of Epic Games. A nice matchup between Europe's second best 1v1er, according to the RLCS, and North American's #1 1v1er in Diaz. Diaz has historically done a really good job of winning against Europeans when they play on EU servers, or sorry, US East servers, I should say, when they come over and play about 90 ping to his 140 that he had when he was playing in Brazil, or actually had a little bit less. He could get lower than that, but he's played with like 120. Anyways, my point is Diaz farms Europeans when they're playing from far away. Today, they're playing from close. 24 ping for Dralii and 36 for Diaz, as they are both in the US as Dralii preps for the major. Diaz played against Dralii's teammate Atto yesterday. He got a win there. And now Diaz is going to test his strength against Dralii. Is there anybody in the world that can beat Diaz is really the question right now, the way he's been playing. Now, one of the answers might just be Nupo. And you might be waiting to see a Diaz versus Nupo matchup. Well, you get to see that live on LAN in front of the crowd. So my guess is you won't get to see that one early, but why not see how strong Diaz is? See if he can take down a guy like Dralii. Technically, the player waiting for him in the World Championships is going to be even tougher to beat in Mr. Moxie, who will be waiting at Leon. For now, we got ourselves a nice best of 7, $250. Dralii going to tie this one up. Fatal Tugboat, thank you for the 5 months prime. It's late night, by the way. For those of you watching on YouTube back, you don't notice it all because you never have to catch it the moment it's happening. But it is Fear After Dark today because the players now in North America are interested in playing late night after scrims when the Rocket League rank grind usually happens. For us, that's early when Europe is doing that over in Europe, but now everybody's here in North America as Diaz is going to dribble all the way from the back corner and fake to score a third. Diaz so threatening on this air dribble in every single way. For those of you who are maybe tuning in for the first time for these sponsored streams or watching for the first time on YouTube, the chat is going to be quick chats for any of the sponsored matches as Diaz is going to dunk this one in, as opposed to no chat at all. So you'll see only when somebody in chat types a quick chat. Dralii, after a kickoff win from the side wall, going to 50 into a boost steal. Diaz has done a good job of not letting Dralii keep an advantage, though, as he takes it the other way. Dralii, if he put some power on that, I think he might be able to score, but he put absolutely no power at all. Dralii's going to try and, or sorry, Diaz is going to try and show him how to put power on the counterattack as he taps it to himself off the back wall and takes advantage of one misflip. Dralii flips towards the side wall for a moment, and Diaz punishes that with a perfectly placed shot bottom left, and he's up 5-2. If you're North American, type 1 in chat if you accept Diaz as our fellow North American. Please, everybody should be typing 1. I'm hoping North America goes crazy for Mr. Diaz. Maybe we'll have a nice neutral crowd at Rally because it'll just be fun, and maybe the American crowd will feel a little bit less, one-sided towards their Americans like they usually are. But I just hope we get hype all around. I know as a North American, I'm fully ready to accept Diaz. Let's join the Americas together in the battle against your... Oh my goodness, what a save. That being said, always been a big fan of Dralii, of Nupo, of everybody who plays. And right now, Dralii can really make a statement win here if he can win in this best of 7. I think Dralii probably makes his way into LAN as well if he makes it past Moxie in the EU regional. Type 1 in chat if you agree that you expect Dralii to probably beat Yan at LAN in advance. Although Moxie did go game 7. You never really know how it would have panned out. Maybe you have Yan over Dralii if Dralii was the one representing Europe. Diaz, little camera check, and he reads the pre-jump. Diaz is so frequently air dribbling as Dralii tries to counter that by popping up off of what is 95% of the time used as a high dribble. Diaz just shoots it on net, and that'll work too. It will not work for you in your ranked game because your opponent will not be expecting a perfect air dribble reset every time. And that is really one of the only ways to defend it too, is to get up there nice and early. Diaz, what a flick. As he rolls around and uses that backflip to launch it forward. He's so lethal at the back wall. My chat gives me so much flack for talking about it, but it really is a big separator for him right now. And it makes so many awkward situations in 1v1 become advantageous for Diaz, because now not only is he just struggling to maintain possession when he's forced back, he's actually in one of his favorite scoring positions, which is such a big swing. Dralii dropping himself a whoops after he missed that one, and Diaz will tap it in easy. I think we're going to get to go next, and there it is. Diaz 7-3. Dralii's had enough. Game number 1 in the best of 7 to the Brazilian. Hey YouTube, today's video is sponsored by Epic and the new Season 19 in Rocket League. One of the big updates that they added to Season 19 are these new, totally revamped clubs. You can see I just created my new club. So I don't have any stats tracked just yet, but stats are going to be taken care of for the entire club. Everybody who's in it, you can reach these goals, saves, and assist rewards to get these medals that will display anytime your full team is queuing into a lobby, as well as the ability to quickly create a server in which you and your party and anyone from your club can come in and scrim. So lots of cool additions in how they revamp clubs. But not only that, they are doing a collaboration with Adidas FC that makes it possible to complete these challenges in order to get cool items related to Adidas elite football clubs. And there's a few little preview of the decals you can get for the Octane. A nice Arsenal one there is definitely worth checking out. Shout out to Epic Games for sponsoring these matches, and we'll get back to game number 2. Game number 2, Diaz and Dralii. Dralii will score first. Rocking the nice shot goal explosion, which you can get with a new update. Hashtag Epic Partner, hashtag Season 19, hashtag thanks for giving us a prize pool for this sweet match. All you have to do is log in. Diaz, a demo and a conversion to equalize quickly. Fix the overlay to say best of 7. Great call. Great call. Yeah, I'm so used to not having to really do any of this, but my Bacchus mod is slightly messed up, so we got old school overlay. Diaz off the back wall, dribbling from ceiling height, 10 boost to work with. It's so perfect every time. You can never get tired of it. We see so many players try and match it, and they just can't. Diaz falls off the ball and uses his flip to perfectly place the corner of his car to boom the ball top shelf. I feel like, I swear you guys say kind of guy more often than I do now. Am I really saying kind of guy every time you guys say it? Maybe I am, but I swear chat says it more than me now. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just spamming kind of guy literally every second. Maybe I am, okay? I'm sorry. I probably am, let's be honest. You said it like 30 seconds into RLCS once. I couldn't resist! I am absolutely the kind of guy to say kind of guy. I mean, it's just... I'm just that kind of guy. Diaz, is he really going to make some aerial out of this? I can't believe he created a great scoring opportunity out of what should have been nothing at all. He actually even gets a boost steal. And now has Dralii on 0. He's trying to prep to the back wall. Nice save from Dralii to try and survive here. A bump and Diaz a misflip. And that'll be a tie game. Agonizing Poo. Leave this 17 months tier 1. Feer is the kind of guy, but is he a kind guy Aga? Odds? Diaz to the back wall. A rare occasion that he does not get a quality dribble across the length of the field. On 0 boost. Looking to try and stay in this play somehow. Maybe it's from stealing Dralii's respawn, as it spawned at the perfect time for Dralii not to get it, and Diaz to be able to steal it away. Diaz late flip. He must have used that at the very last seconds. Now trying to get the perfect soft touches here in the attacking corner in order to guide the ball to net and be able to make a play, but Diaz gonna get beats here in the midfield. Actually, no follow-up from Dralii. The bounce is awkward. Follow-up shot is soft. 2-2. Diaz into an air dribble. Just rolls it through. No reset this time around. Dralii gonna back off. Diaz just throwing one at net. Neither one of these guys can get a continued possession going, it would seem. Dralii will get back to the ball, but the cost of the ball is boost. So again, it's just back and forth lobs. Diaz gonna throw one on target, and this time it's over the top of Dralii as he will put himself back in the lead. Diaz able to deny this ball, bouncing off the sidewall towards Dralii in order to make up for what was a poor kickoff. But is he going to be able to stop this one? Almost. Dralii does force it top right. But Diaz bumped Dralii away. A little wave dash. And Dralii and Diaz guide it into the top right. Dralii flick and gets a goal. He's got himself a lead. The wave dash kickoff pays dividends as he recovers quicker and is able to control the ball to convert. He's going to go wave dash again. Diaz just flipping right through. Gets it into the blue half, but the ball floated too far off the side wall to really make a quality shot out of it. All Diaz can do is tap it towards the net as Dralii uses a ton of boost to return to the ground and force Diaz to use his flip as he transitioned off the back wall, which keeps Dralii in control. Diaz, can he find a way to counter here? Seems like it's going to be hard to dispossess Dralii. He does pick up his own back corner boost. Dralii puts one on target. Diaz makes a save. Does he get the steal in his own corner? He does. Seemed like Dralii was maybe a second ahead. Pre-flip reset, shot denied. An impressive play from Diaz, but not good enough as Dralii will reset the field. Into the opposite corner. He is going to take an air dribble with 30 seconds left to go. He's up 1. He doesn't need it, but he'll go for it. Oh, what a perfect bounce. Actually, Dralii makes it back in time. Seemed like Diaz was trying to put it off his net, whether he meant to or not, and get a counter, but Dralii recovers quickly. Diaz has 100 boost, has the ball. Dralii rotating with 0, dives early. That's only going to buy him time. Diaz is still going to get his setup. He's going to go to the opposite corner. He's so lethal from here. The first touch is impeccable. He goes to the ceiling. Dralii takes it away, gets it to the ground, and ends the game. The best of 7 will equalize 1-1 as we head to game number 3. Game number 3. Dralii's not going to the kickoff. Diaz going to try and punish that, but misses. And now Dralii in control of the ball with 100 boosts. Couldn't get a shot created before landing basically on the goal line, which allows an easy save. Diaz misses the counter. I thought he was just tapping in an easy one. Can he convert here? He's going to really want to. He's going to go 50. Dralii, what a save. Diaz saw Dralii going high, transitioned low, forced him to make what would normally be a tough play and get a real strong 50, but Dralii did it. Diaz rolling through. Again, that's like his counter move to his reset. His reset's so lethal. Every once in a while, just roll through on the touch to get that extra bit of power. Maybe catch them off when they start to pre-jump and expect a reset. That being said, I would really like to see him only throw it in on occasion. His reset is just so lethal that you just need to throw the air roll in every once in a while, it would seem, to keep him honest. Dralii trying to force a 50. This guy able to make a save. And a long shot is in. My goodness, the defense from both these guys. The offense is not lacking at all. These are great setups, but just as good, if not better, saves. And Diaz will be the first to score. Delayed kickoff from Dralii. It's going to result in Diaz in his favorite position. Hunter boost starting from the back wall. That ceiling height dribble, he'll only drop it to the ground when it's time to try and make a play on nets. But this shot is actually a bit weak. Dralii has a solid counterattack. He couldn't collect it. I think if you give him a few more tries, he scores that. But it felt like he had a little bit of fumbling, and it results in Diaz being able to recover in time. And not only that, Diaz passes to himself off of the post and counters for a second goal. Dralii hook shots denied by Diaz. Diaz 50, 40 boost left over. Is it enough? No, it's not going to be enough, as Dralii will demo him. Now it's Dralii's turn on the ball. Double jump bump. Diaz gets around it. These guys play such insane defense at the highest level, and I'm loving the defense against the air dribble bump, because we saw on land just how effective the air dribble bump can be, and I'd love to show a defensive sequence countering it, and it seems like Diaz is ready for that. Dralii, a demo, is going to shoot an open net. Getting his first goal here of game number 3. Dralii going to get another one. Game felt like it was fully controlled by Diaz, but now it's but a 1-goal margin. Half flip from Dralii. Diaz going to take it to his own back wall. We saw Atto do this, I believe, to Diaz. Ended up being a big mistake, because it gets Diaz to this position, which he's so effective in. Has himself a reset. Goes over the top of Dralii. Needed a double, and might not have gotten it, only because he got bumped by Dralii. Normally, I'd have no worries at all about Diaz being able to get there. But he did get bumped, and you never know how much that's going to affect somebody. This time, Diaz does manage to at least get that crucial double that keeps the ball near the back wall, and then eventually gets himself his goal. Dralii forcing this one over into the attacking corner. Wants a couple bumps on Diaz. Gets him, flicks, puts it top shelf. Dralii, whether he meant to or not, is going to fake the reset here, as Diaz picks up the back corner, thinks about the ceiling challenge, decides to rotate back down, and was expecting a bit more on a reset that is just faked, and it's 4-4. Diaz on an air dribble over the top of Dralii. Just that little bit of extra boosting when he sees where Dralii is positioned on the back wall, in order to make sure he can take it out over the top of any angle that can be doubled. And he is the kind of guy to be able to easily find a way to score it afterwards. Type 1 in chat if you're the kind of guy. Dralii, did he just miss his wide open net? He did. He drops a whoops. Diaz just gifted him one, and he didn't take it, but now he's going to find a much fancier way to equalize. Dralii, reset over the top of Diaz. Diaz into an air dribble to try and clutch out the game. Again, goes for a roll through. He's going to get credit with a shot, but it seems like it was already too high. Dralii's not going to get credited for a save. I think it went backboard as Diaz has a reset from the ceiling. Goes for a flick. These are dangerous, and it's actually going to result in a Dralii goal. Trying to attack from above the ball is begging to be counterattacked, and it's something that Diaz normally never does. He does such a good job of getting the perfect protected setup. Instead, it's going to be a Dralii goal. Slightly delay kickoff. Can he pre-flip back to it to get it on target? No, but he does put it on the back wall and has a solid possession. Needs to be careful here in order to just not get beat on a counter. He does just that. Saves a good amount of boost. He'll be able to play defense, but it's still Diaz from a really strong position off the side wall. Wave dash to the ground. 50 and in. 6-6. Diaz brings it back before the clock hits 0. And he is just so smooth once he gets his sidewall control. Delay kickoff from Dralii. Sends it to the side wall. Diaz has the resets, but is forced back. Dralii nowhere to be found. I feel like Diaz was hesitant because he thought Dralii was around, but he notices he's all the way back at the midfield. Wave dash catch from Diaz, trying to pop it over the top of Dralii. He has boost advantage, so I could see him trying to keep this up. He does, but actually by doing so, he allowed Dralii to now take an air dribble with boost. And Diaz will send it away. 6-6. It's OT in game number 3. This series tipping one of these two players' way. Decided by the next goal. Diaz maybe getting faked out by the fake challenge. Does roll the ball away. Dralii wants to bring it to the ground and start a dribble. Diaz is going to let him do so. As he now takes this one up to the ceiling for the reset. Over the top of the ball. We just saw Diaz make this mistake, and it resulted in a goal. Dralii this time doesn't shoot from that position. He just stays patient and elects to recover back down to the ground and keep the possession going. Steals the corner boost and will double jump his way to victory as he goes up 2-1 in this best of 7. Game number 4. Dralii and Diaz. Diaz into a new Fennec, I believe. Is this champ rewards? Every champion everywhere is getting so stoked if it is. I don't know what this car is, but it kind of looks like the champ diamond. So if it's a champ reward, dude, that's just peak for every champion everywhere. So stoked to be able to use Diaz's car. Diaz playing from behind, not just in this series, but in this game. Ato's been using it too. Man, I'm shedding a tear of happiness for every champ everywhere. Diaz from his own back wall. Has he done this before? This reset shots leaves a lot to be desired. In fact, I think Diaz should counter from it. Yes, he does. And Zen. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Every diamond, or sorry, every champion out there in the world is feeling heard right now and throwing on their champion decal. Can't believe Diaz got champion in season 17. The only thing that's confusing for me is that it looks like he's on the blue team. But we'll get past that. Nice little reset wave dash. Diaz seemingly playing a bit of keep away as he gets some heavy touches around the back wall before eventually getting his dribble. Dralii forcing that to the ground, actually able to half flip, collect the ball, and get the boost. And now should be able to start a dribble as well. Fakes a couple flicks and then eventually takes one. Diaz does not fall for any of them and is able to react to make the save. He's going to flick back the other way. He sent it too far. He actually already had Dralii beat, but he'll have the double. And it'll be a tie game. Delayed kickoff from Dralii. Not going to pay off. He's sticking around. He has a decent amount of boost, but he's just going to go back for the 100. So I don't think there was a huge advantage to staying upfield anyways. Might as well get that extra 60 boost. Dralii playing out of his own back wall right now. Diaz forcing him to use his flip. Dralii actually able to connect on a bump as he tries to maintain possession. It will be Diaz who controls it. And instead of his back wall, to be his back corner this time. Diaz, it's all about those early touches, man. He keeps the ball at ceiling height the whole way and never lets it get close. Only after he gets 3/4 of the way, then does he finally let the ball fall, get his reset, and outplay you. You just can't go up there to stop him. And you're forced to react to what is a play that is so tough to react to nowadays with how good these players are, especially Diaz. Diaz, fake, flick, it's in, it's 4-2. It was indeed beautiful as Diaz tries to equalize. Dralii actually gets a great counterattack here. Shogun's popping off saying what a save. But the important thing here is the perfect flip on no boost into flick. I mean, this is not easy to do. When you have no boost, what you have is no adjustment. You have to just make the right play perfectly. And that's exactly what he did. He flipped out to the money spot and then used his flick on 0 boost to shoot a powerful shot. This is a delayed kickoff from Diaz. Going to work to put it back to a 2-goal lead. You think Diaz's best aspect of his game is his kickoff. You haven't seen him lose one. Yeah, he is a really strong kickoffer. I think you have to be to ever reach the heights that, you know, the top players do. But I actually think you're right in pointing out how good Diaz is, because he's good at getting possession and then he's really good at holding on to it and never giving it back and making an eventual shot happen off of his first possession that he earned what feels like minutes ago off the kickoff that you've forgotten about at this point, but it was actually the start of an entire possession. Dralii out of the back corner. I think he's looking at an open net. Yeah. Diaz on the sidewall, creeped in a little bit too far and is going to get punished. Diaz up 1 with 1:20 left to go. Air dribble. Cannot get in the bottom right. Dralii's going to counterattack. Diaz is able to send it to the back wall, double it into the corner, dashes his way back into control, but maybe overplayed his hand there a little bit too quick as Dralii will pre-jump him, and there's going to be no boost respawn. Dralii will shoot a long shot. It is crossbar down, not in! And Diaz keeps his nerve on the goal line, never panics, and just allows himself to collect the ball and flick. That is so close to being a tie game for Dralii, but instead it's Diaz the other way, and he even puts some flair on his open net on what is, I feel like, a pretty tough catch and flick. Launches in 121 kilometers per hour. Diaz to his own back wall. Can just waste time now. And this is what I was talking about before. Another kickoff possession in his favor. And he's just never going to give it away. He just does such a good job of keeping himself in control. Sure, there's going to be a few different times that Dralii touches the ball. Even there, Dralii gets a good hit, and it seems like maybe he could have scored. But Diaz so consistently does a good job of forcing you, even when you dive, to not have an angle on the net, and it's going to be a next call just when the ball's in the midfield. Dralii's had enough of that one. It'll be 2-2 with a best of 3 deciding who gets the $250 in this matchup. Game number 5. Dralii and Diaz. Diaz trying to get one of his signature first possessions, but I don't think he's going to be able to, as it will be Dralii in first control, and he is just freestyling around on the backside of the ball, but ultimately ends in a shot we've seen before, little wave dash shots, as Diaz will hook shot, caught Dralii out of position. First goal will be to him. Dralii just going to take advantage of a misflip from Diaz, take his wide open nets. It is Shogun's new voice. Or I guess it's always been Shogun's voice. The new map has Shogun's voice. Diaz kickoff into his back corner, holding on to that flip until the final second in hopes of flipping it top shelf, but just barely misses. And what a clean counterattack. It's just a double jump, but it's so powerful from Dralii as he passes off to himself and just booms a 118km/h shot. Dralii off the ceiling, hovers behind the ball and reacts to Diaz as he jumps. As soon as he sees him line it up, just changes the direction of the ball. Nice little backflip 50 as well. 4-1. Dralii within the first minute getting himself a bit of a lead. Every once in a while, I'm muting up as my dogs are trying to commentate the game. Now we've seen a mistake from Diaz and a mistake from Dralii, both leading to wide open nets. Heavy delay from Dralii. Then he just pulls his camera immediately as he tries to get a demo that rest of the way off the kickoff. He was staring down Dralii. He's going to drop a wow. I don't think that's because he missed him or wasn't able to snag it on him. Diaz is now ready for these quick counterattacks. You can see the adjustment here. I want to watch it from Diaz POV. We saw Dralii boom a few counterattacks in a row. Diaz recognizing and immediately jumping, using every last little bit of his boost just to get a small tap, because what he needed to do is throw off the alignments of Dralii's quick power shots the other way. They are, I guess, fairly committal, as Diaz just proved by moving the ball slightly. What placement! Diaz has tied the game. How did he get this one in? A kickoff win. Dralii does not go to pick up the 100, just picks up pads, and oh my goodness, it's perfection. Dralii is in net and yet still couldn't get the save on the ball that went all the way down to the ground because it's right off the post in the exact perfect angle. Or sorry, the crossbar. As Diaz now off the side wall, Dralii taps this one down and should have a counter. Most of Dralii's goals have been the same way. It's like one touch out of defense and then a great power shot towards the net. And that's been good enough. Dralii with a pre-flip out to midfield in hopes of snagging the 100. Didn't get it. Gonna be forced back. Diaz, heavy first touch for a speedy dribble. Not one we're used to seeing from him. Normally he's almost like a ballet dancer across the whole field at ceiling heights. Bit more aggressive first touch this time around. This one's back to his normal pace, I would say, as he floats, but actually a poor landing. This is something that Diaz does so rarely. He's such a, expert dribbler in terms of recovery and protection of the ball. Not only did he not protect the ball, he definitely didn't recover, slamming himself like a pogo, not even a pogo into the ground, just worst possible scenario. Dunk from Diaz. Gonna make it a 1-goal game. Another kickoff in his favor, though. Always keeps him in any game when he's winning kickoffs as frequently as he does. This one's going to go in Dralii's favor, I would say, as he takes it to his back corner. Chip up off of the back wall as he's worried about an early challenge. Diaz, 50. Dralii up 1 with 1 minute 30 left to go. The Dogs are continuing to try and commentate the match. We'll have to power through it. Dralii a bump and a follow-up for a goal. Two goals in minute 26 is a ton of time. But you do need to continue to get first possessions. It seems like Dralii's going to have this one. He flipped over the top of the boost, which will be huge because Diaz gets to get that midfield 100. As Dralii now going to get himself demoed. So a ton of space and time for Mr. Diaz. Diaz not going to go for an air dribble this time. A rare ground dribble. He expected an early challenge, tried to low 50 it, but didn't gain control of it. He will be able to steal the boost. Will he survive, though? It seems like he's been able to, trying to dunk Dralii. Dralii, low boost. Only for a moment, though, as he picks up the other corner. Diaz cannot get a quick shot. Misses a dash. Dralii is very likely to be going up 3-2 in this best of 7. In fact, Diaz is not even going to try, which is a bit surprising. I'm going to let you guys watch this one again. I mean, 42 seconds, 3 goals. That is, I'll be honest, not something I expected. If Diaz gets a quick goal, he definitely has a chance in that one, but he's decided not even to see the next kickoff, and it'll be 3-2 to Dralii. What was chat's prediction? 65% Diaz? That feels about right. I think with the way Diaz has been playing internationally and locally, I mean, he's looked really, really good. But Dralii is still Dralii, so I could agree with that. 50-50 would make sense too, but I do think you got to slightly favor Diaz the way he's been playing. I don't think it should be heavy Diaz favored. Of course, it's really easy to say in retrospect after we've already seen Dralii go up, but still 2 games left. Diaz has jet lag as great copium, considering he has just been in NA for months. Game number 6. Dralii and Diaz. Will we get pure cinema? Will we get game 7? Out of this international matchup, Morocco versus Brazil. Diaz trying to open up the scoring by keeping a shot low as he sees Dralii position high. Dralii the other way. The camera movement, or is it just that resets that can move the camera? Either way, Dralii sending one in to make it 1-0. Diaz, great kickoff. It almost feels like he has to get something going. This series is threatening to tilt in favor of the blue wall. And the fact that Diaz gets one of his sidewall dribbles and gets nothing out of it, just loses possession as he looks to get the reset, and Dralii gets to shoot an open net. It's 2-0 for Mr. Dralii. Dralii gonna need a kickoff. Just barely over 30 seconds into this one. Sure, if Diaz had hung out in the last game, maybe this 30 seconds would have been played as part of the previous one. Which I guess, you know, you can never really play these kind of what-ifs, but I'm sure Diaz would much rather have these 3 goals be a part of the last minute of the previous game as opposed to the start of this one. But he is going to get himself on the board with a kickoff win. For anybody just tuning in, the server they're playing on, it's US East. Dralii is here. Diaz is here. This is a low ping cross-region matchup. It's everything we've ever hoped for and more. And it's Dralii with a 3-2 lead. 1 game away from closing it out. Diaz scoring on one of those roll-throughs that he's been using on long dribbles. This time he does it off a sidewall dribble halfway into the blue half. Just popping it out ahead of Dralii. I think it took less time for Diaz to get his 3 than it did Dralii. And now we got ourselves an equal game. Diaz trying to shelf that reset. It's a nice way I like to put it when they get underneath the ball and almost use their reset as a floor underneath it to pop it up. Dralii has a flick opportunity. You can see him lining up that diagonal flick. He does throw it out, but it's a bit too high. Crossbar and down. Diaz able to make the clear. Camera check. Does he have a chance at scoring here before Dralii's recovery? I think that's what he's trying to find out. Decided he does not. Did not go all in there. Now playing out of the midfield. Nice backflip from Dralii. Diaz cuts it directly in field. He doesn't want to give even a moment to get out of net. You can see again, cutting it right back on target to try and keep Dralii pinned back. It didn't work, but it does keep him in control of possession even when he's forced into his own half. And can Diaz prove me right? Like what I talked about earlier, can he hold on to this possession till he eventually gets his goal? No, he cannot. He gave Dralii a wide open shot. Diaz rotating back. Soft touch, just keeps the ball in the perfect position for a follow-up from Dralii. And it's 4-3 for him. Diaz getting a little wall pinch out of the back corner to start this. Look at this play from Diaz. Dralii drops a whoops, giving himself a what a save because he drives in too deep. But it is really speedy from Diaz to pinch that out and be able to capitalize. Diaz, sidewall dribble, has a reset, and then shelves it. This is what I'm talking about. Makes it seem like he's going to go to the ground, falls so far underneath the ball, and then uses that flip to roll it back, this time the tail end of his car, to put it top right. Gets so much surprising height. Diaz in lead. A lot of time left to go. Dralii 50. Forcing this into the back corner. I think Diaz was hoping as he flipped through on that to pick up the 100. He didn't get either. He didn't get the 100. He didn't get a good enough 50 to follow up with. Even if he did pick up the 100, he just hands the ball over to Dralii, who takes it to the net and taps it in. Diaz, a couple boost steals before backing off to the midfield, is waiting out and only electing to go up to the ball, knowing that he can beat Dralii at any moment. When Dralii jumps, Diaz will beat him, but he wants to do it as late as possible. He wants to save as much boost and still get the beat. So if Dralii lets the ball fall farther and farther down, he gets to hold on to more and more. And then he does still get up to the ball before Dralii wins out the various 50s and puts himself back on top. Diaz forgetting about his nets as he prioritizes boosts. Dralii will shoot at a wide open one. I mean, this is just a gift. I mean, Dralii doesn't even have to think fast. He flips towards his back boost, and then he's got ages to be like, okay, well, I guess I'll turn around and shoot. Kickoff win for Dralii, a big kickoff win as we approach the final minute. Although these guys have been scoring a good amount. Diaz lost his bounce on his dribble. Now we'll have to go pick up the attacking corner. Dralii going to send one away. Is this a tough position for Diaz, who drops it down off the back wall into his control, flicking this one up? Dralii will have next touch, though. I don't think Diaz is going to be able to get back to this. Neither one of these guys want to go. They're both playing chicken. Or they're doing the opposite, I guess. They're so scared. Now Dralii reset over the top just to extend this possession. Never thought he was going to score on that one. Diaz able to get around him. Zero boost. Does he have the shot? He puts it on target. He does. Diaz up 7-6. Doing so with very little boost and absolutely none left over after he made the outplay. 45 seconds, though. So much time on the clock. And Dralii has proven that he is a match for Diaz's possession control. Sure, everybody else Diaz has been playing recently, if he gets control of the ball, you're never getting it back. But Dralii has been able to scare him, has been able to take that ball away, make him make mistakes. A full field air dribble from Diaz. It's a fake. Going safe as he tries to force game 7. He's got midfield 100. Dralii takes to the skies. Diaz is up there to meet him. It's a 50. This ball heading down to the ground. Dralii gonna have to back off. Diaz in control with 19 boost. He's gonna flick as a way to just buy himself some more time. And now he's headed to the back corner. Gonna have his 100. Dralii did not get 100 at the midfield. Has to turn back around to grab it. Diaz is not gonna force the issue. Dralii is the one who has to dive on this ball. He's gonna wait for the 50. Not favorable for Dralii. This should hit ground. We're headed to game 7 between Diaz and Dralii. Game 7. Shogun will count us down. It's Diaz versus Dralii. We expected this to be a close matchup. Some of the best in the world duking it out here in a best of 7, and Dralii will be the first to score. Kickoff is in his favor. And it is a beautiful reset off the ceiling and slamming in a dash to chip that one in. Diaz trying to catch and flick. Does not succeed in getting much out of it. Dralii didn't have a ton of boost, though. Going to get bumped to the wrong side of the play. Can he recover? He should be able to. Diaz taking him for a ride to try and throw him off the position. Diaz now trying to play patient with his boost advantage. Has Dralii stuck in net. Just got a respawn in this corner in his favor, which means Dralii's not going to get any free boost anytime soon. As Diaz switches the field. He's actually going for a demo. He doesn't want to play against a Dralii with any boost at all. He'd rather go and try and steal him away than even go for a play on the ball. Now he's forced it back to his own half. Picked up the midfield 100. Another potential demo attempt? No, he does make a play on the ball. Now he's looking to line up a demo. He's staring down Dralii as these guys play Ring Around the Rosie again. Diaz gets his 100 from the midfield. Dralii steals the attacking corner, but Diaz is able to pop it over the top of him as he transitions off the side wall, and it's 1-1. Diaz forcing Dralii back with that first flip. You can see Dralii wanting to challenge. No choice but to continue his shadow, and then again trying to challenge once more. Diaz won't let him. Pops it over the top. Dralii has been ultra aggressive on the ball and attempts to dispossess a guy who has proven to have glue on the ball, or at least glue on the possession whenever he's had control. Little bump from Dralii into Diaz, ends up pool shotting a setup for him as these guys were dashing around on 0 boost off the kickoff. Snappy wave dash kickoff from Dralii as he's forced back. Diaz did not pick up the midfield 100. He just went directly for the ball, and look at this punish from Dralii. It is so quick. Dralii taps it to the side wall, lands on that curve, is able to use it for a dash, and puts his shot on target. 3-1. So speedy. Every goal is so important. Dralii looking to play from the lead here in game number 7. Another kickoff that goes his way as he puts a power shot on with 0 boost. Diaz goes flying past the ball. He was trying to launch a power shot, I imagine, but instead got nothing. Now he's going to force to shoot when both of them are on 0 and essentially hand possession over to Dralii, who gets a heavy first touch out of the corner and a single jump over the top of Diaz and into the net. Dralii's playing so quickly. I mean, it's not going to go back and show that first touch, but I think the first touch is a huge part of this. Dralii just gets a top speed dribble going immediately off of one touch and just chain dashes his way back to the ball. And that allows him to be able to get a single jump in order to just pop it over the top of Diaz, because he's already at such a top speed. Okay, Diaz, what do you have here from the back wall? This is a situation where you need to show you have some offense here. In a big game 7, he actually just dunks right on top of Dralii. He sends it straight at him. And Dralii can put this anywhere. Any sort of touch that doesn't go right back to Diaz is probably not going in. But Diaz sticks around and gets the dunk. Dralii misses a wave dash kickoff. Diaz didn't get the perfect landing either, and so now there's a window get a save, and Dralii does just that. Both these guys a little bit of a mistake, but I think Diaz comes out the worst of it. He should have had a goal. Dralii setting this one off the ceiling, ground pinch, dunked. Diaz gonna pass to himself off the side wall, should be able to catch it and roll it on net. We are within 1 as we have a little over 2 minutes left to go. Nice speed from Diaz, repping for champions everywhere and the champion rewards. You can be just like Diaz if you boot up the game after this. Get it twisted. Diaz boxing out Dralii as he flips into the back corner. Another possession in his favor, one that it feels like he needs to start converting on at almost a perfect rate. A 50 with Dralii. Dralii's going to make it back. Diaz tried to beat him to it, and the ball's going to 50 out off the post into the midfield. Diaz cannot snag a demo. Dralii awkward coming off the back wall. Diaz trying to make sure of that as he drives through the challenge looking for a demo. Dralii going to switch the field, but still doesn't have a clean possession. Diaz finally has to back off. Dralii on ball, carry a flick right as Diaz turns to challenge. Dralii escapes, and he converts for a goal. A 2-goal lead here. Still a ton of time. We actually saw such an early forfeit from Diaz earlier. It was 40 seconds, 3 goals. Felt like one he could have tried out. Now he has no choice. I mean, he has a lot more time and 1 less goal, but Diaz to the side wall. Does not want to take this dribble. Instead, he's going to bait Dralii out for a challenge. Will this end up paying off? He goes to the back wall. He forced a ton of boost out of Dralii. Dralii is using up all of his boost, and now he's going to defend against the late recoverer Sir Dralii's going to get 100, but it's going to be not from the best position. Dralii makes the first save. He's going to pre-jump the second dribble, dunk this one away from Diaz, who's going to have to rush back. Dralii doesn't have the easiest angle, but he will get it on target. Diaz gets a touch, and this is the exact situation we were in before. 3 goals and a couple more seconds than he had last time when he forfeit. But I really don't think he should have been forfeiting. He's definitely not going to now. Can Diaz find a way? Dralii fakes the kickoff, or I shouldn't even say fakes. I don't even think he went at all. He saves this one off the crossbar and out, but he's not in a good position. This should just be a goal. Diaz, did he miss this? Diaz drops the OMG. He needs to score here. He does. Okay. That absolutely had to be a goal, and it did end up being a goal. Dralii was maybe hoping for a little bump there on 0 boost to try and get out of it. I don't think he's going to go for as risky, or I mean, he's hoping it's not risky, not going for the kickoff, but it's a mix-up from what he's been doing normally. It doesn't pay off, so he goes a lot more standard here, although Diaz is in a decent enough position to dunk. He had to with seconds left to go. It pays off as he keeps the ball here in the blue half. Perfect spawn for Diaz off the side wall. He needs a 50. Can he force it through? He's a brick wall. Diaz within 1. 18 seconds left to go. He had to win a 50, and he did. Dralii on just a pad of boosts. Now we might really be overthinking this next kickoff. We have a diagonal. Dralii delays, forces it to the side wall. Diaz is going to have boost, and he's going to have an air dribble most likely. Can't imagine he turns this one up. He's just going to boom it, expecting a pre-jump, maybe trying to outplay. Dralii's prepped for that. Goes to the back wall. This 50 into the corner. Seconds left. Dralii has boost to work with. Diaz has control. This one rolls away. Dralii will be your winner in this best of 7. GG's indeed. It's a 1-goal game in Game 7. But Dralii is the man that just can't lose.